So, you guys want to know a frustrating secret? I think the most frustrating thing about everything is having to be okay with unanswered questions, right? Hi, Bob. That's my Bobble. That's my Bob. That's my Bobcat. That's my mystery Bobcat. Like, no matter what you believe, no matter what you go out to try and prove, it all comes back to one thing. Sumeria is older than everything. Everything goes back to that centralized point. There are older interpretations of myths that they also have their variation on. This is proven. But it comes from time periods between Cataclysm and the point of Sumeria that it's like, okay, it makes sense, but for that kind of story to exist, where's the centralized civilization? Where's the intelligence coming from? Where's the taught um, genius behind it all, right? And there's no explanation. It's basically, fill in your own answer until you have one. And I hate that. I hate that. Because society in general will not allow you to have the nuance to say, I don't know. They want something. There's something in the human condition that we want something to fill it in with. We need the answers to it. Even if we don't get the answers ourselves, even if we don't go seeking it out, that we will take an answer that seems most likely and say, that's it, right? That's the most frustrating thing about everything. Um, but in the end, it all comes back to Sumeria. They're proven to be the most literal. Like, they might have fanciful mythologies and everything else, but the way they taught math, the way they taught language, the way they taught everything was the most straightforward out of any civilization that has ever existed, bar none, and it is proven. It's not, oh, there's extra to it. It's no, it's this, and this, and these are what you have to know. Go forward. It's just, there's something to, I don't know. Why is it that they're the oldest proven civilization, but things like myths and legends exist between the time of Cataclysm and then, even in oral history, that proves you have to have some type of civilization to teach that from, to pass that on from. And it's very frustrating to sit there and say Sumeria is the first when they might be the most organized, but I don't think they were the first. Like, there are Celtic myths older than Sumeria. There's Nordic myths older than Sumeria. There are Asian myths older than Sumeria. It's like there has to be some sort of centralized structure that existed from before that no one is recognizing. Because you can't have strong oral traditions like that without a structure to prop it up on, right? So that, at least for me, that is the most frustrating part, to sit back and be like, all right, we have tidbits, but I don't have an answer. And the human mind has to fill in the blanks. And it's like, we all just want to be like, no, this must be the most likely. This must, instead of just sitting back and being like, I don't know. Show me the next bit of proof so I can put it in place and I can figure out and, like, let's get a little bit further. It's like what we talked about earlier today, right? About them finding this, like, basically football field underneath the Great Pyramid, right? Is it 4,000 feet or 4,000 meters? I gotta go back and look it up. Um, Below, right? They have the drainage columns that everybody's seen and everything else, but you have to go along with it and be like, okay, if Egypt had underground structures like that, if Turkey had underground structures like that, if Japan had them, if like you find them up in what would that area be considered now? I think it's part of Germany and part of Austria. You have inner cave work like Darren Kuyu. Um, there is some sort of knowledge that did not get passed on. Some sort of knowledge that we are missing as a complete whole. And to muck it up both ways, I'm not going to accuse one side or the other because both sides were guilty. History is written by the victors, and it's proven the victors aren't always the most trustable people, right? It no, everybody gives their point of view, and we all know a point of view is not the truth. There is the truth, and then everybody's point of view around it. No one's ever willing to step outside themselves and admit this is the truth, though. Usually, when somebody does that, you don't like them very much. It's a sad fact, but it's a fact. So, me and my huge ass egghead monkey brain cannot accept, just cannot accept at all, that even though it is my favorite, because everything dates back to that, so it all comes back to Sumerian creation myth, it comes back to Gilgamesh, it comes back to all of that. There, for whatever reason, they were right. We have gotten dramatically less intelligent every generation that goes by. Like, and they literally knew this back then to where they knew how to tell their myths and legends to the point where we would understand them. Right. They would get to a point where teaching their myths and legends would get to a point where we would understand them. Because they knew that we would not be able to mentally handle the actual truth. Imagine that. Imagine that for a second. That is a huge ass ego death right there. That is a gut check and a half. 5,000 years ago, they knew we would be too childish to handle the fucking truth, that we would go out of our minds with what they would tell us what it's all about. That they had to interlay it in myths and legends and rhymes and riddles and this little Easter egg hunt that we've all been going on for since we can remember. Because, let's be honest, the world wasn't like this pre-Constantine. Pre-Constantine taking the Christian faith and making it the worldwide religion, the world was not like this. It really makes you think. And I hate that. So what is it that they know that we don't? Because let's not forget, it's not just Epstein, it's not just JFK, it's not just anything like that. It like they, the world at large, has been hiding things, ancient things, for a very long time. I want to know why. I really do. I'll leave you guys with that for the night.